Hello ladies and gents, this is Wild Harley, and what I'm going to be doing is an introduction to Star Trek Bridge Crew. So this is going to be a bit of a tutorial around the different ships there, so bear with me. What I'll do is I'll get the first one loaded up, which is the starter ship. Let's get this launched. Okay, so what the aim of this video is just to teach any new players about the various
Captain's log, stardate.
Just exit that bit, sorry about that. So yeah, the aim of today's video is just basically give an overview and
Captain, we have a message incoming from Deep Space K7.
Look at each of the different consoles, from Helm, Tactical, Engineering, and of course the Captain's chair, over the three different ships.
Opening channel.
Aegis, we have a freighter coming into dock, and we've had a little trouble lately with smugglers trafficking invasive species. On your way out, I think it'd be best for everyone if you could just verify the ship isn't carrying any wildlife.
Right, okay, sorry about that. What I'm going to do is just quickly jump onto Helm, and we'll take a look at Helm first of all. Okay, this is the overview. This is your throttle.
No course plotted.
Of course, you need to set a impulse and warp course for that, but we'll take a look at that in a moment. So first of all, this is your thrust, so the acceleration and reverse, and you got a full stop there. This little section here is your steering, so left, right, up, down, and also you can actually dodge torpedoes by going at full thrust and then going at a diagonal pace. So this is your main map, so you can see the heading either side. So you got 0645 0315 and all that. That's quite handy for when the captain yells you to basically turn a certain direction. You also get a heading compass on the main view screen when it's activated by the captain. Here you can also select the targets, but first of all let's have a look at the impulse map. So if you want to go to a different destination on your impulse, you just basically click where you want to go. Of course, we're already here. We haven't got an impulse setting, so we can't do that. Once that's happened, you'll get a direction to turn on the map. So all you do is just to line up with that, and then
No course
hit the
plotted.
throttle. Also on the warp map, it's pretty much the same kind of situation. You just click where you want to go. You get a directional to adjust to. As soon as you're there,
No course plotted.
hit that. So that's basically it for Helm, apart from we can zoom in and out. With this console here, with transporter and system intrusion, as Helm, I generally would not worry about that at all. Transporter, I would leave that to engineering, and system intrusion, I just leave that with tactical. So that's basically it. Let's move on to tactical. So tactical is a whole different ball game. You get to scan various things, so let's have a quick scan of this ship. So we're doing live scans. That's fine.
I am not detecting any unusual life forms aboard the freighter, Captain.
I'll let
Fine,
K7
we'll
know
do
the
this.
ship's clean.
Okay. You can also scan the engines and shields and weapons. They all come in quite good for system intrusion.
Warp core
So,
output appears
for
to be
example,
2%
the engines,
below projections. Can you confirm those numbers?
you can
I'll
shut
let you
them
know when I
down.
find out.
You'll have a bit of a see in a moment. Right, okay, now that the engines are scanned, you can see on the system intrusion there is a clicky. So you hit that, hit disrupt engines and disrupt, and what that will do is it will stop the ship from moving over a period of time. So it will take about 25 seconds for that to basically yeah. So the engines will stop, even though it will still show us moving on the map. I think that'll just be basically the inertia. Okay, so next thing, moving on, we do have the weapons. We've got no valid targets at the moment, so I can't show you that. So you do have phasers, some burst mode, and if you are on a valid target, you select one of these, safety was all scanned. If you hit shields, engines, weapons, if the shield's already down, you'll get beam mode, and you can take out that subsystem over a few shots. Basically, beam mode is generally good, but you got to wait for their shields to be down first. Next thing you got is torpedoes. So I'm arming them now. It will take about just less than a minute to charge up, but you only get to fire 2 at a time, and you only do get a complement of 30 or 32. Next part here is the shields. They take about a few seconds to activate, so just give them time. Oh, there we go, torpedoes are armed. And it gives you the shield status there as well. So I'm just going to disarm these. Now your tactical field map, also you do get the headings, and you can zoom in and out. If targets are bunched together,
The AEC calibrations are complete.
I would basically
Can you check them
generally zoom in and get an easier pick out on them. Alright, let's leave the subsystem. Also, there is a little bit of an extra. This comes from the engineering, which I'll show you in a moment. Basically, the engineering has the power to reroute the power, not just boost the power, but reroute it completely from a different subsystem. So you can have a lot more phase of power and distance. This is quite handy for combat, especially if you want to be undetected. So you can shoot at a further distance and have a bit more damage to boot. Let's jump onto engineering now. Okay, so this is the main engineering console. These are the main things that you'd be concentrating on, that and transporter. Now, this is the long range travel, so you can charge the coils, but obviously, most important thing, you need to have power to the engines. When you start, you will generally be met with a board like this, so you can distribute power to all the various systems. So, say sub-impulse speeds, I like to have a configuration of 343. So, I'd say there is some radiuses when it comes to being detectable. So if you have your torpedoes loaded and armed and your shields up, you are detected. You can be detectable around about, I think it's about 29 kilometers, something like that. Now, don't quote me on that. Now, if you have your engines maxed and the helmsman is going at maximum speed, your detection radius will also be dramatically increased. So what I generally tend to do is leave it at 4 until we're needed to go to warp. You can impulse on 4 bars, so that's fine. Now we have the systems display. There you can see the nacelles. I'm not in VR, so I can't show you properly. At the back you've got the nacelles, you've got the warp engines, you've got the impulse engines. Yeah, so you've got like the warp core engineering, you've got sensors, you've got weapons. When they start taking damage, you'll be going yellow and red. And to repair them, you just need to jump onto
I
the
have a
screen.
new report from maintenance to check out.
And you get 3 people to choose to go in each. Now you can either do it 3 in one system at a time, which is quicker, or if you want to spread them out for a more even repair rate, you just put 1 in each of the damaged systems. Of course, you can only do 3 at a time. Now with regards to routing, this is what I'm on about. So say for example, you want everything in phases from shields, then what you need to do is move everything from engine power into phases, and you can see that you've now got 26 kilometers on the phases, but you've got basically shit all in engines. So what I would then do is route from shields into engines, so you still got some speed. Again, just use the 4 pips, then you've got 4 kilometers speed, or 4,000 kilometers speed. To reset
Warning.
those,
Exceeding ship
just hit that
tolerance.
button, everything will return to normal. Now you will start taking subsystem damage over an extended period of time. What I would then tend to do is reset the routes after each target's destroyed. That way phases get to recharge a lot quicker, and then at least you're ready to go when you need to start doing the routes and shooting again. This is pretty much engineering explained. So, like I say, if you need to change different systems, just do that. That's all you need to do. This is basically like the second easiest job on the bridge. Basically, got helm, this, tactical, and then the captain. Right, let's take a look at the big chair. So, here we've got the view screen. Now you can choose exterior view, which I absolutely hate. If you've got a target on the screen, you can magnify or just aim at the target. So we can do that for you.
Transferring data to your panel, Captain.
So you've got target view, and then you can magnify it. You've also got the navigation heads-up display. So on here, you can see the speed and the heading that you're currently going, which is also what's on the helm's console. Now you do have the heading on your display here as well, from the local map.
EVA repairs on the saucer
You also
section
have
are
the
complete.
impulse, so exactly the same as what you can see on helm. But if you're playing solo, you need to set the course on here first before giving the commands. Now we also do have a warp. We'll go into that in a moment as well. Objectives. You can see here all the submissions that you need to do. You've also got the details on there as well. The status of the ship, so you've got the whole percentage, clearly 100% considering we haven't done anything yet. It tells you whether the shields are up or down, and also gives you the torpedo count. And also, it gives you the emission signature, so detectable radius. So currently we're at 10 kilometers. Basically we've got nothing active. So we've got, like I said, we've got 4 pips and engines. So if we keep going with there with the shields and torpedoes off, we'll be fine. And also you have environmental warnings there as well. That will flag up. This next button, click off that, is your hail button. So if you're getting a message come through, that normally lights up unless she picks it up first. And here is your red alert.
Aye, aye. Shields raised. Arming torpedoes.
Begins. So torpedoes are arming, shields are coming online. Like I say, it does take a few seconds. And we are now detectable at 29.8 kilometers. Get them shut down again. I don't bother with reduced signature because that's shit. All you need to do is
Aye, aye. Disarming torpedoes.
give the orders to disarm the torpedoes and lower shields.
Aye, dropping shields.
Okay, so we'll look at the impulse in a moment. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to warp. So we're going to plot a course. Now, the voice commands on here sometimes can be pretty crap, so I'll give it a try first of all. Prepare warp.
Aye, aye.
Preparing for warp.
Warp
Allocating
coil
power.
charged.
Warp course
Okay.
plotted. Lining
Worked
up for
first
warp.
time for once. Normally have to shout it out a couple of times.
Warp coils charged.
Okay, let's
We're aligned for warp.
Cancel
We're ready
alert.
to go.
engage.
Aye, understood.
Okay, so we're getting cut out for the moment. Come out of warp, it will bring us back in. So let's take a quick look at the local map. And what do we need to do? Okay, so we need to wait
I'm
for
picking up a distress signal,
an
Captain.
objective.
Channel open.
USS Aegis. My vessel has lost all power and our life support systems are nearly exhausted. We have a crew of 6. I request that you take us aboard your ship as soon as possible.
Oh, do they now? Right, okay. Analyze target.
Roger
Staying with
that.
them.
Target selected.
Route power to engines.
Aye, aye. Full power to engines.
Okay, for some reason they don't do the reroutes, you've got to do them yourself if you want to. But we are going at maximum speed.
Scanning target.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly jump onto engineering. I'll show you the transporters.
When you have a moment, I need you to check out the launchers. I think there may be a corrupted subroutine.
I can check that out.
Okay, so you can check out the view of the ship as well. It's also quite handy if you're flying on Helm to avoid big asteroids. So
Transferring analysis to your
navigate through an
panel.
asteroid field, use the exterior view. It's pretty damn handy. Okay, so we've got a transporter signature there. So we need to lock on. We've got 6 life signs to beam across. The time differs depending on the distance that you are. So the closer you are to the target, the quicker it takes to lock on. So just waiting for the last signature now. Now what I'm going to do is just beam them aboard.
The vessel is empty,
There we
and
go.
all crew members are accounted for.
Okay, so that's that job done. I'm just waiting for another objective.
We have a priority message incoming from Starfleet Command.
Okay, so this is the help button in action.
Opening channel.
Captain, we've lost contact with one of our survey vessels, the USS Nicholson. You're the closest ship to their last known position. We need you to locate the vessel and render any aid they may need. We're sending their last coordinates to you now. Starfleet out.
Right, let's confirm that mission. So we need to go to Gamma Hydra. We're already there, so we need to select an impulse course to section 6.
Calculating travel
Nebula.
vector.
Now, if there's enemies on the map, it'll actually come up with either Klingon's signature or whichever faction it is. So it'll show up as an enemy there, but looks clear for now. Prepare impulse.
Please say again.
Prepare impulse.
Please repeat, Captain.
Sod it,
Aye.
for this.
Powering engines for impulse.
Plotting impulse course. Course laid in, Captain.
Like I say, sometimes voice can be a bit of a pain in the ass. Engage.
Aye, aye, Captain.
I don't know, it's probably my accent, but
I modified the output algorithms. Mind taking a look?
I'll tell you if anything turns up.
right, once we've done this section of a mission, what we'll do is we'll move on to the next ship, which will be the old Jolly Rancher. Also known as the original Enterprise.
Captain, I'm detecting gravitic mines in the area. If we get too close, they'll be attracted to our hull, and the damage could be severe. We should keep our distance.
The environment is
Right,
inhibiting the
boost
effectiveness
range
of our
phases.
sensors, Captain.
Affirmative. Maximizing.
We are,
power
however,
lasers.
detecting pockets of plasma coolant. They may provide clues as to the Nicholson's whereabouts.
Aye, aye, Captain. Changing target. Engaging.
Okay, so what I'll do is let's show a torpedo in action, shall we?
No valid target.
There we go. So yeah, they're the phaser emitters right there. Let's scan that. Knock the torpedoes off. Yeah, so that yellow semicircle, that's basically you firing out for your phasers.
We've got a shield phase oscillation. Can you take a look?
Initializing a level 3 diagnostic.
Okay, so we need to go over there.
Aye, aye. Targeting.
Let's get some more
Sensors
engine
are
power.
detecting a distress beacon,
Aye, aye.
but it is not a
Maximizing power to
Federation
engines.
frequency. It looks like a civilian vessel needs assistance as well.
Right, so with our engines
I'm picking up a signal on emergency frequencies.
cooking, we are detectable at 20
On screen.
kilometers.
Aegis, according to my engineer, our engines are locked in some sort of malfunction cycle. If we could temporarily override them, I think we can fix the problem.
Initiating scan.
Right. Okay, so let's get helmet and take over there.
Aye,
Take
following the
over there.
target.
And let's show you a bit more of the system intrusion.
Warning.
Entering the
Environmental
anomaly.
hazard detected.
This is the only ship where you can actually do a full routes and, of course, the system intrusion. Each ship has their own weaknesses and strengths.
up and down. Care to confirm?
Right. Okay, so what I
No
need to do is shut
problem. I'll
his
start a level
weapons.
3 diagnostic.
Sorry, shut his engines down.
I am updating your panel, Captain.
Okay.
It looks like that fixed it. We should be able to take it from here. Thanks for your help. You probably just saved all our lives.
There we go. So this is pretty much it for this ship. So I don't really want to bore you with the rest of the mission, so let's move on. Let's go back to the briefing room. Right, so now unless you're in VR, can do it. Okay. If you wanted to, you could do the campaign missions with Next Generation, and that's cool. I forgot you could do that. I thought it was only when you're in VR, but you can also do it with the original Enterprise as well. So if you're wanting to do the Kobayashi Maru challenge with the original Enterprise and the Next Generation Enterprise D, you can. But let's go on the original Enterprise. This is the slightly harder ship. You'll see why in a moment. But let's go ahead. Now what I recommend to do with this ship is to use your
Captain's log
control
supplemental.
I will mark our charts.
Yeah, you do that. Right, so what I mean by your overlay is this. Because none of the buttons tell you what they are. So if you haven't used the ship before, always use the overlay just until you get used to the actual ship itself. Right, helmet here. Let's jump on there. Just got a full stop, which is that button there. You just got this little bit to play with. Now, you got a little display there, which you tactical and captain can see. The captain's also got a map on the little pad. The controls are pretty easy though. You got left, you got turn right, you got move up, and you got move down. Now you can increase speeds and decrease. Now if you go into reverse, which is that one there, you need to increase your speed
Material
again.
reserves should hold given our activity level.
But make sure if you're going to go forward, hit the forward button first. Now we've got impulse and warp. So separate buttons instead of a giant throttle. What we need to do is you want to go into impulse or warp, bring up the impulse map, next destination, so you got the one that you wanted highlighted, select, and then destination so you get one that you want,
Plotting course.
and plot your course. Okay, so there you can see you've got that directional, which is what I was talking about on the first ship. Once you're aligned, just get off the impulse map and engage impulse. It's pretty simple, really. Like I say, if you've got your overlay, you can't go wrong. And tactical on this ship is basically a piece of piss. On this ship, tactical's the easiest job on here. Right, so now that's an impulse, so I'm going to bring up a warp map. I'm going to just pick a random destination, say Toff for example. Select destination. We need to turn. It's a lot easier in VR, but if you're using a control pad on a PC, then it's a lot easier than using a keyboard and mouse, that's for sure. Then you can actually turn your head while you're doing this. Then
warp coils have not been charged.
Of course you need to charge warp coils, but we're not going to do that. Anyway, let's move on to tactical. So I'm just going to bring up the overlay, just so that you can see, so it's all your benefit and mine. So as you can see, we've got phasers.
No target selected.
Of course, we haven't got a target. There's no valid target anyway. So that's your fire control there. And you've got your red line where it says scan range. That, of course, is your scanner range. And your phaser range, that is the smaller red bar. Now torpedoes, all you need to do, you've got two buttons. You've got arm and you've got disarm, and then you've got your two fire buttons. This button toggles the shields. Now with this ship and the Enterprise D, it does not matter about detection radius. You will be detected at any distance anyway. So with this ship and the Enterprise D, have your shields up and your torpedoes aren't, because it doesn't make any difference. The only ship in this game that is sneaky, like a submarine, that would be the Aegis, or Aegis, however you want to pronounce it. Just say the JJ first ship. But yeah, I mean, this is pretty much it. I mean, you do have scans as well. So you've got your target, which is this button next to target. So say if I wanted to scan at station, I'd hit scan, but it's out of range, so hey. And you've also got your previous target button there as well. Just disarm that, knock the shields off, and that's pretty much it. Now let's go over to the engineering site. This one is a little bit more complex, but this is actually where I learned to do engineering. So this is where I first learned to do it on any other ships, to be honest. So if you can master this on this ship, then
The inertial
yeah,
dampener
you're
is
laughing
going to
basically.
begin recalibration soon.
So there, that screen with the available power, that is your power distribution screen. These are your power distribution buttons. So you've got phasers where you can knock up the power. Got your shield and your engines. This is where it comes quite handy. Say if you wanted in 5 in 2, you can. As long as you take all of the pips out of 1, that would leave it at minimal engine speed, so about 500 I think. That would leave you with 5 pips to put in shields and 5 pips to put in phasers if you want like defensive and offensive as well. This ship is quite tanky. Once the shields are down, the hull is quite tanky, so don't worry about running away from a fight. You won't need to. unless you're getting really ganged up on. Here, you've got the transporter on the screen ahead of you, and it says transporter. Normally, if you hit target, previous target, it'll bring something up where you can lock on, which is this button here. And it will take some time to lock on, so it doesn't matter about the distance. Then you can energize, you can cancel, and you've also got your view screen as well. So if you're sick of looking at that, press that, and you've got your view screen. Right, now on to the most important part, is the repair. So the top two buttons is your subsystem selection. So you've got your shields, engines, phasers, scanners, launchers, which is your torpedoes. You've got your warp core, and you've got the crew that you can assign. Again, with this one, it's only 3. So, for example, you need to repair a warp core,
Shuttlecraft maintenance
shields,
running behind schedule.
and engines. Then you've got 3 people in them. You can also unassign. So don't forget to keep cycling through and checking the systems. That's pretty much it for that. It'll just give you a basic readout, 100% on each of the screen, whatever the damage is. Here we've got the warp. It's slightly different to the first ship. You've got to prep it before you charge the coils. So you hit that, and then you hit charge. In that screen there, you'll see a red bar move up, as indicating your warp coils are charged up. You can cancel charging up the coils, and you can cancel warp altogether. So do that and then that, and then you're fine, you're all good. This is pretty much it for the engineering. It's nothing flash or fancy. But you don't need to put any power in engines, which is quite handy with this one. Now, with the captain's chair, you've got magnifying. No, that's target view, sorry. You've got magnifying. What is that, exterior view? Right. Yeah, so that's exterior view, that's magnifying. You got the warp map. So again, you can bring up the same thing as helm, just like the other one. And you've got the impulse map. Cycle through, you've got next target. Sorry, next target, previous target, and you've got your confirm button.
Long-range sensors indicate a few chondritic bodies.
Calculating travel vector.
This button here is your hail button, and you've got the red alert button.
Shields up. Torpedoes arming.
I'll just bring up the impulse map there, and this is the actual pad itself. So you can select your targets over here, previous target, next target. Sometimes it's easier to select these than it is to go through there, just in case you've got a load of Klingons bunched up. So that's your local map, and here you get to see your objectives. So you can see we've got the objective to warp to Rybone system, which we're not going to do. So this is pretty much it for the original Enterprise. I mean, it's nothing fancy. It's a fun little bridge to mess about with, especially with an experienced crew. Like I say, if you've got the overlay on and you haven't done this bridge before, you'll be fine. Right, so let's jump back to the briefing room. And we'll go on to the final bridge. Okay, so we've got Big Bertha herself, the Enterprise D. And it's launched.
Captain. I will update the chart of our operational area.
Yeah, you do that, Spork. Right, okay. I'm just going to get a flight control to all stop here.
Aye, aye. Full stop.
Okay, so yeah, as you can see, different layout. You've got tactical behind you. You've got operations. And you've got flight control, which is helm. Got a crappy first officer who never shuts up. And you've got this silent beauty here. Okay, let's go over to flight control. And let's have a look. Right, so this is a slightly different layout. So you've got your throttle control right here. It's pretty similar to what you've seen on the first ship, which is slightly more updated. And then you've got your directional. Of course, you can do diagonal on the ship, unlike the previous. Right, so you've got your local map. Now you don't have the headings on here. It's not very good. But hey. But you still get to select. Now you can't zoom out or zoom in on this one. Same with the original Enterprise. But anyway, let's move on. We've got the impulse.
Plotting course.
So you can plot the course. Got the impulse. And assuming that you got, let's go here. So let's just line up for a moment. Right. Okay. So assuming that you got the engine power, which we have, hit impulse or engage impulse, and start moving. I'll show you warp controls in a moment since we drop out of full impulse. Okay, so warp. So we've got the warp map. Pick any system. You go back to your local map. So you want to go into warp. You've been given a heading by the captain. You hit the warp button. You choose the system that you've been ordered to go to. Hit local. Then you line up. Operations would then spin up the warp coils, and as soon as the coils are charged, the captain obviously then give you the order to engage. Now of course we don't have the engine power, so and the coils aren't charged, so we're not going to go to warp. This is pretty much it for this. This is as basic as it gets. So again, this is the easiest job on the bridge. Next thing we're going to do is go to operations. This gets a little bit more interesting. Right, so let's jump onto the main engineering screen, which is what you'll be using some of the time. The only times on here is when you're going to be changing power allocation. You can't reroute on here, but you can boost a little bit. Right. Before I go into that though, this is the impulse and warp. So we charge the coils if we have the engine power. So let's do that now.
Warp coils charging. Warp coils
lovely next
charged.
generation sound. To cancel, just do that. Detectable radius again on this ship doesn't matter. Like I say, the only ship that affects is the first one, because that is a more stealthier ship. Okay, this is where it gets slightly interesting. On the operation systems, you get to see the different various compartments. So phaser control, you can actually boost, well, increase the charge rate and range of phasers. So, for example, at the moment, with one person in there and max power, we've got 21.6 kilometers. Now, take these guys out. If we have 3 people in there, which we'll never have you'll never have in the first place, but I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes.
We're in position.
When this final person goes in, it does take time for them to go through the turbo lifts. There we go. You'll see you've got a maximum range of 24.7 kilometers. Alright. So each of the systems you get like the efficiency, so decrease load time for torpedoes, increase max speed for when you're going around from task to task, on the local map that is. Decreased warp charge time, tactical shield modulation and increased shield strength. That's quite important. Astrometric lab, that is to counteract harmful anomalies, but hardly anyone uses that. Got the computer core. This is quite important. So, say if your shields go down, you want 3 blues in this little puppy right here, because that does reduce your damage that you will take quite dramatically. And in this one, we've got cloaked enemy detection. So, just chuck one person in here, and tactical will then bring up the torpedoes into a different setting, and you can basically hunt for cloaked vessels. It's all quite fun. Right, so for now, let's just do this. Okay, so you can have 1, 2, 3, 5 people at a time. So that's little settings that you can do. So what I would normally have for defensive and offensive purposes, I would have 2 reds in shields, along with a blue.
Predictive targeting system ready. Moving now.
Searching for nearby cloaked vessels via tachyon
It doesn't
scan.
give you maximum shield strength, because obviously it's not going to be 3 reds in there, so you can have 2 reds and a blue. But that will give you still better than nothing. So just wait for them to go in, and then I'll show you the shield strength.
Shield modulation ready.
Yeah. I say it does take time, unfortunately. There we go. So
We've arrived.
See, it's increased by 0.6. It's not much, but it is better than absolute nothing. What I'll do is have a red in phasers. And I'll get another blue ready.
Predictive targeting system ready.
And what I would do is have that blue
Attempting tachyon sweep to
Phases.
detect cloaked ships. Aye aye, moving now.
And what I would tend to do is I would just basically get everything ready.
We're in position.
So I'd have one person in computer core, and I would shut that down. So get that
Attempting
moved.
tachyon sweep to detect cloaked ships. Proceeding to new assignment.
There. So on the event of shields
We've
going
arrived.
down, I would deactivate the 3 that's in here. Well, I would move the blue from shields in the computer core, and the blue from phasers in the computer core, and I would deactivate whichever spare one I need to in the shields, and then bring up, yeah, you know, sort itself out that way. So do that
On the way.
and that. Turn off shields, and I'll have someone in main engineering, for example.
We're on site.
Because when your shields go down, of course, engineering is going to get hit quite dramatically. You need to
We're
keep
in
the power
position.
levels up as much as possible. So there we've got hull protection set at max. I mean, these are the settings that I've used. It's been tried and tested through other people, and it's worked for me as well. But basically, use what you think's, use whatever works for you. I mean, there's no right or wrong answer with this. Just use whatever's right for you. So this is the operations. Like I say, it's slightly different to engineering on the other 2 ships, but there's not much difference. Just remember, you need to toggle the people. Right, let's check out tactical, because this is also quite different. Okay, so again, you don't have to zoom out, you don't have that option. You select your targets, your scan is right there. And you get a lot more torpedoes to play with. So shields are currently up, we're on burst mode, on phasers.
Ship performance may be significantly degraded by the anomaly.
But you get about 3 torpedoes at the front, 1 at the rear. This is what I was talking about. Homing proximity. So if you've got a cloaked target, you put somebody in scanners, you swap over to proximity. So you've got 1 torpedo at the front, 1 at the back. And what you're looking for on the map is like a blue haze that fades in and out. Helm would basically align up with that. They should be able to see it on their map. We can see it on ours, and the captain will be able to see it on his iPad, basically. Fire. It's just literally that. Torpedoes will fully load. Bring them back onto homing. Now you will get a modulation button that will show up on the bottom next to the shields, where it says modulated target. And of course that request is from operations when you've got people in the shields. This is pretty much it. You've got your scanner as well, which we just did. And that's basically it for tactical. It's about as simple as it gets for there. And we've got the captain's chair. So what we've got here, there's 2 buttons on the arm. We've got hail, and we've got red alert. Wait, some people just do that in game because they're dickheads. Right, so first time you come to you've got the objectives tab. So that brings up basically what you need to read, what you need to do. Self-explanatory. You've got ship status, so you've got hull, shields, torpedoes. You start off with 50. Of course I fired off 2. And you get your power grid, which is your phaser range, shield and engine power levels. You've got your local map.
I will update your panel, Captain.
You're the only one that can zoom in and out. You've got your impulse and you've got your warp. It's pretty much exactly the same kind of thing
Calculating travel vector.
as the other ships. So it's self-explanatory really. On the view screen controls, you got target, you got exterior view, both I hate, and you got magnify. And you got my favourite default set. On here you got the navigation screen, so you got your speed and heading. The only 2 ships in this game that actually have this is this ship and the first one, Enterprise. Unfortunately, Enterprise, the original, doesn't have that. It's just basically got the heading, which will be on the top left screen. And this is basically it for this ship. It's pretty cool looking. It's pretty self-explanatory really. It's not that difficult. It's quite a fun ship. Same as the original Enterprise. Again, that's quite fun. They all have their own purposes, their own strengths and weaknesses, and each are quite good for different missions. Though, apart from being tanky, the original Enterprise also has an unlimited complement of torpedoes. Very handy, especially if you're going up against the Borg. Yes, you can go up against the Borg in that mission with that ship. Right, so this is going to be it for this video, and you guys be good.